So, ladies and gentlemen, this is Joe Mazzulla. The majority of people on Earth don't know who this guy is, right? This is the next head coach, the acting head coach of the Boston Celtics.
That Joe Mazzulla will be the interim head coach here. You can see his resume on your screen. He's been a Celtics assistant coach the last 3 seasons after spending the previous 3 seasons at Fairmount State. And he played for West Virginia between 2006 and 2011, and now could become the NBA's youngest head coach at 34 years old. And we'd be remiss not to also mention that Mazzulla was arrested twice at West Virginia, once in 2008 for underage drinking and aggravated assault. He pled guilty, paid a fine, and then again in 2009 for domestic battery after an incident at Morgantown Bar. The domestic battery case never went to trial. It was settled in August of 2009. He paid a $100 fine and court costs, plus had to do 40 hours of community service. Now, that was 13 years ago. He settled and paid both fines. So, Woj, why are the Celtics choosing him as their next head coach?
What the fuck was that? Ladies and gentlemen, first of all, let me start here. I honestly thought when I heard this dude's name and he was being announced as the interim head coach, and I heard Joe Mazzulla, I thought this was an Italian dude. Okay? Come to find out, this dude is black. Alright? So, ESPN has obviously let these little girls get out of hand and do whatever they want to, as long as they're attacking black men. Because you have good reporters like Carrie Champion, Jamel Hill, who were forced out because of their opinion about why these players did not want to go visit Donald Trump, and the company let these girls go or forced them out or whatever the case may be, and then tried to blackball them. And now it looks like these women, Molly Karam, Malika Andrews, oh, by the way, Maria Taylor, that they let go, or whatever the case may be. People who did their job, stayed in their lane, and did what they were supposed to do. And now you got these girls, Molly Karam. Those were women, by the way, those people that I named, Carrie Champion, Jamel Hill, Maria Taylor. Always personified class, always personified dignity, and did their job. And now you got these little girls, Molly Karam, Malika Andrews, doing shit like this. And it's obviously okay for them to attack anybody as long as the hue of their skin is like mine. Ladies and gentlemen, not only did this woman do a background check on an interim head coach and go, but she also went back into 13 years ago when he was in college, when most kids fuck up. And he was 21 years old. And not only that, it goes even deeper than that. Because, so now we doing background checks into motherfuckers' teenage years? Because obviously it goes even deeper than 13 years, because the first incident she named, he was caught underage drinking. He was arrested for underage drinking. So you're talking about what a interim head coach did when he was a fucking teenager? More than likely he was a fucking teenager. And you bring that shit up live on TV as this man is trying to get, and we keep hearing that we hate y'all, and you bring that shit up live on TV as this dude is trying to step into his first shot at making this a career to solidify whatever it is that he wants to do with his family, whatever it is that he wants to get his first shot. This is what you do. You bring that shit up. And this is a black man. And the only thing we keep hearing as black men is, y'all hate us, y'all are always attacking us, y'all are doing this and y'all are doing that. Somebody got to make it make sense to me before I can ever fucking understand this. Somebody got to make it make sense to me. What he did 13 years ago has nothing to do with what he's embarking on right now. Right now, people have gone to jail for longer than that and came back out and got a second chance for far worse. And you're going to bring up something that he did while he was in college over 13 years ago and something that he did while he was a teenager? And it ain't many of us on the planet who didn't take a drink before we turned 21 years old. And that's what you're going to do? But if we go down the list of names, because these people are still applicable, they're head coaches in the league. Why didn't you do a background check on Steve Kerr, Greg Popovich, Tom Thibodeau, Billy Donovan, Steve Nash, and go all the way back to their teams and see what they got into? And then come out with a list of things that they did. You know why? Because you're allowed to attack black men on ESPN. You're allowed to talk shit about people that you don't know nothing about the story. You're allowed to say whatever it is that you want to do. You're allowed to interrupt people while they're in the middle of a sentence. You're allowed, as long as they're black, you're allowed to. You have the utmost respect for guys like Woj but when it comes down to a Kendrick Perkins or Stephen A. Smith, you have the ability, because they're just going to say, good job, Malika. Good job, Malika. Way to stir it up. Way to make it happen. That's going to entice people to watch NBA today, because you went after that black man and you tried your best on camera to make him look like you're a bitch. And then you want us to respect you. Fuck out of here with that bullshit. Show off.